Hey, I'm Marni.
I am Ray BLK.
I'm Grace Carter.
My name's Lianne La Havas.
We are the beautiful resistance.
Love music,
hate racism.
When I was 10, I was living with my Jamaican grandparents in Streatham, South London.
I was raised in Lewisham Borough. I was born in Nigeria.
I grew up with a single mum and I grew up with the white side of my family, not the black side of my family, and I had a lot of confusion with that.
I also lived with my great-grandmother, who is also Jamaican, so we just had a great Jamaican time in the house.
So I'm Nigerian, and what I love most about being Nigerian is the vibrancy. We are very loud people, for lack of a better word. We are very loud, we express ourselves, and we're very free. I think that's what I love, is that we are unapologetically ourselves.
I love most about my culture that we are firstly, the food, of course, being Greek, but that we wear our hearts on our sleeves and we have a very tight-knit family unit, so it's, you know, whenever we need to talk about anything, we always have our family to come back to.
I love a lot about my culture. I'm still finding out a lot about it. It's a hard question because I grew up with white family. I didn't grow up with my black side of my family. I didn't ever have my Jamaican side to look to. So a lot of that's been kind of exploring on my own and doing the research on my own and reading books and watching films and kind of finding things out, but I'm very proud to be black.
And my dad's side of the family were Greek, so I would hang out with my dad and my Greek grandmother at the weekends or after school. Yeah, so I had a pretty rich cultural upbringing.
I've definitely been discriminated against different times in my life, whether it's in the music industry, out of the music industry. Within the music industry, I always recall one of my first ever sessions working with these two producers, and I remember them asking me if I wanted to be a singer or just a songwriter, and I said that I wanted to be a singer, and they told me not to and just to focus on writing songs for other artists because they said that I wouldn't make it, especially as a darker skinned girl, that it just wouldn't work for me, so I should just focus on writing songs.
I've learnt about discrimination through my grandparents. They lived in Cyprus and emigrated here in the 50s, and I know it was a hard time for them. My grandma was trying to find a place to live for her children, and she was telling me she had seen signs saying no immigrants allowed, and it was hard for them to find work.
I do remember recently, actually, in Australia. Basically what I was doing was defending this friend of mine who was, you know, quite a small, petite lady, and she was being a bit roughed up by this security guard. But I tried to like diffuse the situation, and he called me a black yeah, that was probably the first time I was, well, not the first time, but that was the most vivid memory of experiencing out and out, you know, kind of racism.
I've had experiences when I was younger. I remember one time I went to a petrol station with my mum, and I was in the car when she went to pay for the petrol, and this guy came out and told my mum to give me a bath. And at that age I didn't really know what he meant, but it stuck with me, and then as I got a bit older I kind of like had a conversation with my mum about it, and she was like, yeah, that did happen.
That experience made me feel two different things, being told that as a black girl I probably wouldn't make it in the music industry. It made me feel a little bit deflated at first, and it made me feel like this is something that was going to be a really hard task and maybe I shouldn't go for it.
It made me feel really sad. I remember after the particular incident, I was going home and I was just crying my eyes out. It was shocking. It was more shocking.
And it was just crazy to me that in a world that we were living in when kind of, I don't know, I'd never thought about it before. I'd never thought about the colour of my skin or looking different to my mum, and this random guy in a car park basically pointed it out, and it was really hard.
And the next day I was reflecting on it, and I was just thinking, then I felt sorry for them the next day. I felt like really, you know, I just thought it was pitiful.
Go for it, but I kept thinking about it when I went home, and to be honest, it just made me want to prove them wrong and to show them that this isn't something you should be telling people. And I just always feel like winning is the best form of revenge, and so I was just hell-bent on working really, really hard to prove them wrong.
I mean, I would challenge anyone that was being racist around me, and I have done in the past. Anyone that has those views, I don't stand for that.
And just think about why you feel the need to hate someone for such a silly reason. It makes absolutely no sense.
We're all the same, we all bleed the same colour blood. Like, it's just, there's no need, it's ridiculous.
And also that they're missing out on an opportunity to meet amazing people from different backgrounds and collaborate with amazing people from different backgrounds and learn something. So I would say you're missing out on huge experiences, and you're missing out on amazing people.
So someone that's struggling with our identity, I am too, I always have been.
Really just think about the things that you like, the things that make you who you are.
Your identity is what makes you unique. There's nobody in this world like you, who looks like you, who sounds exactly like you, who thinks exactly like you.
My advice is just to kind of, you may not be given all the resources, but you can go out there and you can kind of find more out about yourself and explore.
And I could hopefully be a support system to them and be someone to talk to and hopefully help them through whatever they're going through.
So I just think really try to look inside yourself and be who you want to be.
I would tell my 10-year-old self that the things you're trying to hide about yourself are the best bits.
I might not have all the answers as a 10-year-old, but I will find them in the end.
To be more aware of my culture and understand it and celebrate it more, and to celebrate and understand and learn about other people's cultures.
As long as you keep giving love to the people that love you.
And just don't feel like you have to tone yourself down to make other people comfortable. Never ever do that. Be yourself and don't dim your light so other people can shine.
A world without racism
looks like a world where we can all be equal and we can all feel equal.
Everyone just kind of living together in the same place and embracing each other for who they are, not the colour of their skin.
It's exactly what it should be, where people get their opportunities based off their skill set, of their talent and who they are, not what they look like. So I hope to one day be in a world where I can see that.
To me, a world without racism would be a really great thing, and hopefully it wouldn't cause other problems, you know. Hopefully if that problem was solved, it would solve a lot of other problems too.
I feel like we're a long way off it. We're not there yet, but we're working in the right direction. And yeah, I think a world without racism would be a very happy place.